Don't necessarily let nostalgia get you. You know, in case.
You don't let nostalgia get you.
I know.
And
Sometimes.
Clown, you shut up. You talk too much.
Jesus.
Huh?
Are you turned up, Clown?
Huh?
Thanks for
Exactly,
joining
Clown.
us. Thanks for joining
Shut
us
up.
tonight, Clown.
Wait, are you like being serious that I talk too much, or because like?
No, God, that's the fucking joke.
What the? That was the worst thing ever. Hey everybody, we are the D Team, a group of guys who enjoy the horror genre a little too much. So much so that we might have a restraining order on us soon enough from it, but I am God the Machine.
I'm just trying to prove my love, that's all. I'm Chuck.
I'm Slutty Gambler.
Yep, he just loves gambling. He just goes down on gambling all the time.
And what we do is we take a topic, we each pick out our top 3 favorites, and we verbally abuse each other until we break.
We also give a reason why we love monkeys.
And we give a reason why we love monkeys? I'm not sure.
I like monkeys because they don't judge. And
Monkeys.
And they're the only mammal that has use for its poop as a projectile weapon.
I was about to say, which is for throwing at people?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
a projectile weapon. I mean, hey, you know what?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Valid point, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, there's the reasons why I like monkeys.
But as we play horror video games, we talk about horror
I love
movies
my Farilla Gorillas.
and Farilla Gorillas, and
I like thriller gorillas. Well, technically monkeys.
I said Farilla
Bubbles.
Gorillas.
400 Gorillas?
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Farilla.
And it only
Farilla.
took us like a minute to get off topic. This has got to be a new record.
This is a new record for us.
Yeah.
But
Cocky, slappy, cocky.
I am not even sure
Okay.
what we're
Well,
talking about.
now that he's seizing up and stroking out on us, we'll go ahead and get with the program
Yeah,
here.
get with the program. Let's go to some
Yep.
PBS.
Yep.
It's alright.
Go ahead, God. Introduce
Alright.
the topic tonight.
Tonight's topic. Excuse me. Tonight's topic is horror video games. Our favorites, our top favorite horror video games of all time. For whatever reason, they may or may not. One of them.
We're
Sorry.
also playing video games right now.
Again, we're also.
Here come all.
Yep. We're also
Yeah.
playing horror video games. Tonight's Dead by Daylight, which seems to be a pretty common one for us. It's our
He just
mutual.
got chainsawed by Leatherface. That's why he did that.
Yeah.
Voice.
Yeah, I
that very,
was.
that very manly scream. That was really Leatherface.
Yep.
I said, listen here, gumball.
So, all right. Tonight's topic is horror games. Chuck, I think it's your turn to start off this time
That
because Crazy
topic's farming you.
was last
Okay.
night. So, top 3 favorites.
Let's see here. Top 3 horror games and just personal favorites, not historical reasons.
Nope. Just
Gotcha,
top
okay.
personal threes. Yep.
We're slowly honing in why we choose our choices.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. Okay, so personal favorite top 3 horror games. Number 1, Resident Evil Remaster for the well, actually it was the remake for the GameCube, and then they remastered it for the modern consoles.
The PS4. Isn't that the one that just came out recently?
Yeah,
Like the
but it's
the
actually
remaster.
it came out for the GameCube originally, and I still think the GameCube version's better because of the framing of it. Because in the remaster, they tried to make it 16:9, but the camera moves up and down now, and it's kind of awkward. But when it was on GameCube, it was just 4:3, and it was immaculate. You can actually still do that mode in the remaster. You have to go in the settings and switch it over.
See,
But it was just, how they designed that game, it was meant to, it was meant for GameCube. It just worked really well.
the recent release though, I thought I saw looked like a really modernized game though. Like it didn't look like it would have been on the GameCube at all. Like it looked terrifying. Accurate.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. The GameCube version was that good.
Really?
That's how good it looked.
Wow. That's impressive.
I mean, there's a new polish. There is a new polish on the remaster, obviously. But if you played the GameCube version, it still looked damn good. Like that, I mean, it still looked really, really good. It was so
Really?
far ahead of its time. But that's
Wow.
just because it had the backgrounds that they could basically make the backgrounds look as amazing as possible.
Hmm.
And then they just spent all the, and it was easy to do that because it was basically skinning it,
Right.
and then they could focus all the horsepower on the character models and such. So
Okay, that's pretty impressive. I gotta admit that is
yeah,
very impressive because I didn't. That when you said GameCube, I immediately was thinking it can't possibly be the same game that I just seen released then because obviously,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
GameCube
they
is
just
quite a bit
updated
older.
the graphics to HD quality basically, but it's still the same assets and everything. So yeah, it's quite amazing.
Okay.
Okay,
two.
so yeah, number 2 would be gonna go with Dead Space 2. It's an amazing survival horror game in space.
It's a classic.
Yeah, the second one, it just starts out strong and it keeps going and it finishes strong. It's got some of the best, like, I guess you'd say I mean, you say horror gags, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, but they do the same thing in video game form. There's some amazing gags in it, especially with this eye scene. Anybody that's played the game knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it.
The ice.
But it involves an eye. It involves your eye, specifically your character's eye, and what you have to do to it. So it's like Fulci in space. It's great. And the score is amazing. Just everything about it, and it also it's like the perfect sequel. It was like what Aliens was to Alien.
Right, which was.
And it's just an amazing survival horror game. Yeah, I really like the story. I think the story's great. I think the gameplay is great. It's action, but it's also scary at the same time. It's just everything. And it's in the same genre as the Resident Evil series, survival horror, except this time it's in space. Survival horror is like,
right.
it implies resource management. It's all about, I have so many bullets, I need to
You gotta watch
be
your
conservative with my bullets and my health, to get through this level, and there's puzzles, and it's just very tense and unnerving, and it's great. So that would be my number 2.
shit. Okay.
And then number 3 would be Diablo 2 for the PC. Because I played that a shit ton when I was a kid, and it's amazing. The atmosphere, the story. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is Diablo 2 a third-person over-the-shoulder kind of thing, like the Diablo 1, or was it? Is it more
Yeah.
first person?
It's like I guess it's like bird's eye view. There's a certain term
Mhm.
for it. I'm not sure what the term is, but it's.
I think it's bird's eye view. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you are correct on that one.
Yeah, but it's great, and it kind of had that thing where you could get cool items, loot, basically the loot system. It was kind of the first game that really did the loot system right.
Right.
And yeah, so I don't know what else to say. It's just, I mean, anybody that knows video games knows Diablo 2. But yeah, the atmosphere, the story, just tons of hours of gameplay because it has all these different character classes you can play.
Right. Yeah, I remember
the
Diablo
loot,
1 being
yeah,
pretty epic.
Yeah, you can constantly play the game because you can get better loot or collect sets of armor and such. Yeah, there was an online mode that you could play with other people. It was just and it's also a lot of the maps are randomly generated, so every time you played, it would be a different map. Would not be the same. So it was just really, really awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but that's my top 3. Resident Evil Remake, Dead Space 2, and Diablo 2.
Sounds like a pretty solid list. Pretty solid list.
Yeah, and I have a shit ton of honorable mentions whenever we
Oh
get
well,
to
man. I'm sure we all do on that
Yeah.
one. Probably every game
Yeah.
we've ever played, we could easily be like, here's a bajillion of them.
Well, I'll keep it down to 3. So,
Right. Well, of
but
course.
yeah, but when we get to that, I'll get to those.
I guess I will go next, just to see if I can get them out of my way. I'm terrible at this part. This is my worst part. The worst part for me. If I had to choose 3, and I will not let nostalgia get in my way because God knows I do love the original Doom for tons of reasons. I'm putting in some serious thought. Serious thought. Now, what's weird is I love a lot of comedy in with my horror, as I'm sure you guys have noted by most of my picks. Most of my picks are a lot of fun with my horror. Now, when we get to something like straight up serious terrorizing horror, then yeah, I'll have a little bit more serious inputs of just absolute fucking frightening shit. But when it comes to something like, you know, like, okay, Lollipop Chainsaw. You guys ever played it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I love that game. Yes, sweetie.
Yeah.
It's that game that has lollipops. See? Obviously. Please. Yes, that one. Get that out your mouth.
It's daughter approved. That's how
Out your
great the
mouth.
game is.
No, really, get it out your mouth. This break brought to you by Fatherhood.
Fatherhood is a proud sponsor of the D Team podcast.
Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't necessarily consider Lollipop Chainsaw a horror game, but you know, it's got the zombies and all that kind of stuff there.
It's more of a horror comedy like Dead Rising, because I was actually going to say Dead Rising for my number 2.
See, I want to say Lollipop Chainsaw, I really do, but I don't know if you guys would consider that horor enough. Because
I do consider it's
okay.
Like I said, it's like Dead Rising.
Pretty sure James Gunn was involved in that too.
See, was he? Was James Gunn involved in that? Because I could see
Yeah, it's
that.
either that or the sequel, but yeah, he was involved in that game.
Lollipop Chainsaw doesn't have a sequel, dude.
Okay, well then it was just the first one then.
Yeah, okay, then, yeah. Okay, then if he was, that's fantastic, and makes me love that game even more, because, absolutely. Because I wanted to have a sequel.
It's one of those games that does deserve a sequel, though.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
It's over the top and awesome.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna put Lollipop Chainsaw in there because I'm glad you guys accept that as an option. Because goddamn it, I love that game. It is fun, it's hilarious, it's over the top, and I can be in a seashell bikini, and I love that. So, so goddamn it,
Who doesn't love a seashell bikini?
You're damn right. You're damn right. I'm gonna put Dead Space in there. I've never played Dead Space 2 though. I've only got Dead Space 1 in there, but I loved Dead Space. It was an intensely good, almost The Thing in space, kind of, just creepy.
Basically, yeah, basically.
The atmosphere was great. You know, it had a lot of just jump scares in it. It did really good for as far as a horror game goes. They did a fantastic job with it. I have no qualms with it at all.
You'd love the sequel then.
I've really been wanting to play it for a long time. I've just never gotten around to be able to find it. Unfortunately, I don't like ordering things offline, so I've never been able to find it locally or anything like that. And a lot of our places shut down. So unfortunately, as far as that goes, that's gonna be my number 2 is Dead Space. No!
Well, you're just talking to me right now.
Oh my gosh. Break for a moment. I apologize once again.
So is that a break, or we should keep talking while he deals with his daughter break? Is that gonna be like I don't know? I'm scared.
Let's just bullshit, Chuck.
Bullshit. Okay.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Panama Papers? You know,
What are
came out
those?
last year. Oh, you know that whole thing where they basically all the rich people are funding their money through Panama, and it basically proved that all the rich people in the world are in cahoots with each other. Yeah, you know, I'll let it go.
And you know, I think for my third one, I'm gonna go ahead and say, oh my god, I just puked in my own mouth. That's pretty horrifying. Oh Jesus.
Played that game.
Oh, it's terrifying. Blood. That was gross.
You not good enough, Chuck?
Man.
Okay, what's your number 3?
Man, you know, I do want to go ahead and say Doom. Like some of the newer Dooms though, because they're intense. Like Doom VR is pretty intense. Although I don't really like a lot of what I guess overall story mode and stuff goes, but at the same time I love like Oh my god, I love so many good games. Like, dude, Dead by Daylight, I do love it, but only on like I love it so much because of the social aspect with you guys. It's such a fun game with you guys because we can come in here and be idiots. And then I have
it's
stuff...
fun playing with you guys.
It is.
It's not fun playing this game though.
Right, you hate it. Chuck hates Dead by Daylight, everybody, but he plays it because of us. He comes in here and has a good time with us, and then complains about playing it
the entire time. Yes,
the entire time. I am going to say the Doom franchise on whole. I can't settle on any single Doom game though, because I do love the old ones. They were fun, and nostalgia gets me, but you know, quality isn't there compared to the new ones. But there's something about
the PlayStation port of Doom, right? Yeah, that was the best one. The original PlayStation port.
What?
Yeah, no, that's a joke. You obviously never played it. So.
I didn't. I have no idea about the original PlayStation.
There's a port.
Original Doom.
Yeah, to the original PlayStation for Doom, and it is.
The only Doom I ever played was the original Doom I played was on like the computer, and Doom 2 on the computer, and then I played. I had it on Super Nintendo. There's a Super Nintendo
nice.
Doom, everybody. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I still have it, as a matter of fact, on my Super Nintendo, which is awesome. So, and then they also had Doom 64 that came out too.
That's a great doubleheader: Donkey Kong Country and Doom 64.
Right. So, but man, I'd have to say something like Doom 3. I loved Doom 3, and then even the new Doom that just came out, not Doom VR, but the other one. I'm gonna go with
Doom
those.
3 is solid because it's basically it's a survival horror story. Just Doom at the end.
It pretty much does. I'm gonna go ahead and say Doom 3. I'm gonna settle on Doom 3. Those are my top 3. Lollipop Chainsaw, Dead Space, Doom 3, Locked Loaded. I'm good to go. Crazy, you're up.
Alright, for number 3.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
For number 3, I'm going to have to throw on Resident Evil 4. First horror game I actually played, if y'all didn't know that.
Damn good choice.
Also, it is a damn good choice. It is my favorite game. The boss fights are amazing, intense too. Salazar is one of my favorite bosses from any game ever.
Salazar.
Yeah, man. I remember using the infinite rocket launcher. The infinite rocket launcher you get after beating the game on like New Game Plus or something like that, and I used to wreck his day.
Dude, I got.
I didn't even need that. I just maxed out the broken butterfly and shot him in his.
The broken butterfly was good too.
Dude, I gotta say though, it sounds to me like some kind of vegan dinosaur. Salazar. I'm just saying. It's got me.
For number 2.
For all of our Spanish listeners, the views and opinions of each individual of the D team does not reflect the whole. Thank you.
For my second choice now.
Except for gypsies. We can all agree that we hate gypsies.
Gypsies. Fucking gypsies.
Yeah.
Now, for my second choice, if y'all would be quiet.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, clown. Go ahead.
For my second choice.
Hey, whenever you're ready, clown,
you're
go ahead.
the quiet one. You're the quiet one.
Yeah.
For my second choice.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, you're good because you don't ever talk.
Yeah,
you don't talk at all.
Don't feel like you have to, not say anything. You can say something. It's fine.
I am saying
anytime you're ready, dude, you can go ahead. We're done. We promise. We're done.
Okay, for my second choice, I'm gonna throw on Dead Rising 2 because I love me some Dead Rising 2. It is amazing. The combo weapons aspect that they're in there from 1. Don't get me wrong, 1's amazing too, but the second one you're stuck in. I think it's a fictional Las Vegas, and you just have hordes and hordes of zombies. And then off the record, basically, it was a remaster with Frank West, the original protagonist from the first one. And you got to fight Adam the Clown's brother for one. Sorry for the spoiler there.
You just ruined my life. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, Chuck. But his brother is crazy too. That's one of the best fights ever. That's one of the best boss fights in Dead Rising, in my opinion. Well, both of them are both the Clown brothers. Now, I'm gonna digress on 2 here, and I'm gonna say for my third one, I'm gonna throw on Amnesia.
Amnesia.
Nice.
Amnesia. The Dark Descent.
I've never heard about it. What is it?
It was free on
It's-
PlayStation Plus last year. It was basically the original Outlast.
Really?
Yeah, it's a first person. You're exploring a creepy castle. You have no weapons. You have to hide whenever monsters. It's actually very well done. It's very Lovecraftian.
I just got the Outlast and Outlast 2, by the way.
Be ready for some animated dick, because that's what you get a lot of in those games.
Yes!
Animated dick swinging around.
I was hoping. Fantastic. Finally, the game for me.
Those games are the Outlast games. They are intense, but they seem very try-hard to me. Like, we gotta be edgy. It's like an edgelord wrote it, you know?
So there's just a bunch of animated penises coming at me. It's like avoid
You're
the
stuck
monster penis.
in the first one, you're stuck in an insane asylum.
Right.
And some of the characters are naked when they're like coming after you, and they're covered in blood, and it's just like, I'm too busy staring at your ridiculously over-animated dick.
Just
Like,
giant monster penis.
There was an
everywhere.
animator that was paid to do dick physics for that game.
Right.
Can you imagine, like, going home to his wife and kids, like, well, honey, I think I really did good on my dick physics today. I really got that swing down. I mean, I'm close.
He just stood in the mirror.
Maybe.
He just stood in the mirror
Just
for
maybe.
hours. Just for hours, like,
Yeah.
hey, honey, do you think this is right? Like, matching it up? She's like, yeah, you got it. That's perfect, sweetie.
Yep.
Perfect. He's like, all right, all right. He's like, hey, Jim, come over. I need some help with this. Just swing it around a few times. Let me make sure I got this. Flop it back and forth, up and down again, up and down again. All right, I got it. I think I got it, Jim. I think I got it.
I think I got it. Yeah.
Just one more time. Yeah, I'm thinking that's good.
But like I said, for my third one, I'm gonna give it to Amnesia because that game is just scary as shit first time playing.
Amnesia, I'll have to check it out. I've never heard of it, so. And the Outlast games I haven't even touched yet. I'm gonna do those with my scary shit finders and Cletus Dickerson thing. I'm gonna do that with that. So I don't want to spoil it for myself. You know what I mean? I want to go into it with a completely not knowing how it goes kind of thing and see how that works. And be truly terrified and see how that works. But all right, interesting. So.
Thank you, Clem, by the way. He saved me in this game, so. Really appreciate it.
Fantastic. So those are our personal top faves for our reasons. I guess that means that Chuck, you are up for defendificating yourself on a game.
Are we doing honorable mentions next?
Oh, if you want to do honorable mentions, yeah, let's go through our honorable mentions. Let's go for it.
Okay. Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. That came out for Xbox and PC back in the day. It's a really, really good Lovecraft game. It's got a lot of mythos to it. It's basically the Shadow over Innsmouth mixed in with Dagon and a bunch of other stuff. It's got one of the most intense moments in video games I remember quite fondly, which is you are in your hotel room and you're in your hotel room and you have to escape these people coming in trying to bust in, and you have to lock the doors as they come after you. It's extremely intense and I'll never forget it. I really liked it. I know the new Call of Cthulhu game just came out. I haven't played it yet, but hopefully it's very similar to that one.
My wife's playing it right now, and it's very wordsy.
Yeah, that's the first game, but the first game is wordsy, but then it becomes an action game as it progresses.
Right. I don't know. I haven't seen much to it. She just started it, so I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. So I'll let you know.
It's funny. Resident Evil 4 was going to be another thing that we already discussed, but that was going to be an honorable mention for me. And then last but not least, I think one of the greatest games ever made. It's just it was barely edged out by the other ones, and that would be BioShock. I think BioShock's one of the yeah.
Is that a horror game?
Yeah, it is a horror game.
Okay. I was.
Splicers. I don't know if you ever played it. Yeah, no, it's a horror game. Whenever somebody says, our video game's a piece of work, I mean, our video game's a piece of art. Like, can video games be art? I just say, hey, BioShock, play that game. Because it, not only the aesthetic design of it, it's amazing, but
Chuck, take a hit.
the design of BioShock is impeccable. The aesthetic, the story is great. It's got some really good twists and turns. Also, it's a dissertation on Anne Ryan at times. Like it's really interesting in the sense because the basic story is that a man back in the 30s, 40s named Andrew Ryan decided that he got tired of people telling him what he could and couldn't do. He was a big capitalist, so he built a city under the sea that there was no government. It was basically built on capitalism. So it's just, yeah, it was really interesting in a sense. So whenever people ever ask me, okay, hold on, sorry, just a quick break for the game.
We're having a video game moment, people.
Yeah, if the rando gets hooked, do not save him.
I got you, bro.
Do not save him, because he just farmed me. So, yeah, he just farmed me, so don't get the rando.
No.
Okay, back to normal mode. But yeah, so Bioshock.
Nice.
Bioshock, I'll be honest with you, out of my top 3 favorite games, I would still say Bioshock is the better game, just because of how well done it is.
Would you kindly?
Yeah, would you kindly, exactly. So yeah, there's my honorable mentions.
Cool. My honorable mentions?
Do you have any? Yeah.
Man, let me just think here. You know, I love Dead Island. Like I said earlier, I did really like that game. It was a good intense. Like, it scared my wife a lot. She couldn't play it because it always, like, the music and the atmosphere got her, where she was constantly on edge. So she hated me playing it around her.
Dead Island's a good game, yeah. It was really tense.
Yeah, she hated it.
Good job.
And it always made me laugh. So I think Dead Island would be probably one of my honorable mentions.
Dead Island.
Yeah,
Dead Island's really good.
And let me just think here. Hang on.
Silent Hill. If you ever played Silent Hill, that's another honorable mention that I would have, but I figure we can just cap it off at 3.
Well, see, like, honest to God, guys, the Resident Evil games, like the Resident Evil Biohazard, right? That was the first and only Resident Evil game I've honestly ever played, because I played the first Resident Evil, and I hated it. It killed me. It was just the way the game. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Joe. But it was the way I played out. Like, after I killed some
Don't
zombies.
save God when he gets on the hook. He doesn't deserve it.
The way it played out, though, was like, I would do some stuff. I didn't need your help. I didn't need your save. I got off the hook myself. Yeah.
That's alright.
Just follow two generators.
But
yeah, I'm looking for.
What's this Chuck following me over here?
what ended up happening was I would play the game, and it seemed like I would do some stuff, and I'd like, you know, I'd kill the zombies or whatever, and then there'd be nothing to do. There'd be nothing to do because I sucked really bad at getting all the puzzles done. And then I would have no zombies for a long time because they'd never respawn. It just, I don't know, it was boring to me, so I'm sorry. I'm not smart with puzzles. But, I don't know, man, like, I've never really been much into the survival horror games up until Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight's gonna go on my list because I love Dead by Daylight. It's a fun game. I love playing it socially with you guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Hardcore. So I can't not say it's at least an honorable mention. Because without Dead by Daylight, I wouldn't have met you guys, and I wouldn't have met 90% of the people, you know, that I play on here with, or I know, you know? So it holds a near dear place in my heart.
The views and opinions of the individual D team members do not reflect the whole. There we go.
Well, in this case it does, because they wouldn't have met me either, and they love me. But, and let's see here.
Okay, so you got one more. If you don't, you don't. So.
I mean, I don't think I really do. I mean, everything else, like, you know, Left 4 Dead's great in its own right. I mean, you know, the Left, or yeah, I'm gonna say Left 4 Dead. The Left 4 Dead series is cool too. It's just a fun blast away.
That's actually one of my honorable mentions.
You know, run and gun. So that's gonna be my other one.
Well, part two especially.
They're both about the same for me. I mean, you know.
I played the first one. The second one was the only one I played. So.
They're both pretty much the exact same. One of them has a couple of different zombies in it, but
yeah. I play Left 4 Dead for it. That's quite fun, especially when you have people to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my buddies. I remember back in the day, back when I had a 360. Man, me and my buddies would jump on that like nothing, and just play for hours. Man, we beat that whole game in like a day.
Yep.
Nice.
my daughter, she's 6, and she's loved that game forever. She loves to play it. She's always asking me to play it. I'm like, Jesus, go play something like, kid friendly. She's like, no.
Jesus.
She's like, no, I want to go kill zombies. I'm like, okay, crap.
I want to play an old grizzled vet that kill zombies.
Exactly. And she loves like Ellis, because Ellis is funny, and she knows Coach.
Yeah, Ellis is actually my favorite character.
Absolutely.
Ellis and Coach.
I'm a fan of Coach. Yeah.
Yep.
Fan of Coach.
Coach is awesome.
All right, well, Crazy, what's your top 3 there?
Left 4 Dead 2. Outlast. And this little indie game called Colat. I don't know if either of you's heard of it.
Called Colon?
Yes,
What?
Colat.
Yeah.
Colat?
Colat.
Yes.
Colat?
Colat.
Sounds like it's weird. I've never heard of
That's
what's
based
about.
on. That's based off.
It's based off the
Devault Pass, right? The Devault Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic game. It's on the PlayStation Store right now. I highly suggest checking it out if y'all haven't already. It's awesome. But yeah, it's really good. Really well done too. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
So
Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
my-
I think I've heard about it. Like, maybe it was from you that I heard about the name. It sounds semi-familiar, but I think
Cause
maybe it was
I'm
from-
really fascinated with the how do you pronounce it now, Chuck?
Devault Pass. I'm
Pass,
probably
really
completely
fair.
saying it wrong. Yeah.
I'm really fascinated with that case.
Yeah, the campers that just were out in they were in the snow-capped mountains somewhere, and they all just decided to go outside naked and die or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just really weird. Really weird what happened there. Like, nobody knows why they died.
The game takes a good little interesting twist on it too, by the way. So
That is interesting.
just commit. I'll take a hit.
You learn something new every day. Come to our podcast and you learn all about some crazy facts
Yeah.
about weird shit.
Yeah. Or about crazy stuff.
About crazy stuff. Like that video game was based off some people that just wandered out naked into the forest or the wilderness, when it was snowing and died or whatever. I mean, shit. All right, well, cool. So, well, Chuck, you want to defend a movie or a game there? See if we can all agree on some greatness here.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna have to go with Dead Space 2 because you picked Dead Space, so.
I did, so automatically
yeah.
we kind of have to agree that Dead Space is a pretty damn good game. At minimum,
Yeah.
the franchise is worth it.
Yeah.
We have to say that one's on the list. Because, dude, Dead Space itself, we both agreed, the music was great, the atmosphere was great, the game was well done. I did not play Dead Space 2. Damn it.
Chuck, kill yourself on the hook. I'm at the edge.
I'm already dead.
But I will have to definitely check out number 2. And you said there's number 3 too, right? There's a third one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Have you played
Number
it?
3 is a little. Yeah, I like it a lot, but it's got a little bloat to it, and it's also EA started doing microtransactions in first player games. So
okay.
it was kind of the start of that too.
I gotcha.
But no, I'd say if we had to pick a Dead Space though, I'm gonna trust me on this. Just go with 2.
Okay, well, I will agree with 2 because, like I said, I really want to play it. If it's anything like 1, then it's going to be good because 1 was, I love it. It's fantastic. So unfortunately there, Clown, you're going to have to chop the head off one of them. So which one would you give up? Have you played Dead Space?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But, I'm not giving up Resident Evil 4. I'm telling you all that right now. I'm gonna finish that shit till the end.
You're going to fight it to the
That's
death.
okay, because that's gonna go on the list because I'm okay with Resident Evil 4 since I picked Resident Evil.
I'm defending that like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. That's safe. Sorry, God.
Democracy, you bastard! You spit in my face
Yeah.
again!
Alright, so Dead Space 2, Resident Evil 4. Comes down to the last game.
Well, hang on a
I'm
minute,
gonna
hang on a
chop
minute.
off.
First he's got to chop off something, and then we got to go to mine.
We'll chop off.
Yeah.
What 3 did I say now? I said Dead Rising. I know I put Dead Rising 2 on there, and I put Amnesia.
Your top
Okay.
3 games, and you're trying to figure out what you
I
said.
got them now, dude. I got them now. I know what I said. I'm sorry. Okay.
You better be.
Chop off,
Watch yourself.
You should get over it, Chuck. Okay, I'm going to chop off Dead Rising. I don't even know if you can play 2 after.
I played two. For a little bit. Because that was when they first started introducing you being able to modify your weapons. And in 1, you couldn't do that. And in 2, they started to change that. That's what made me want to play 2, is because everybody was like, oh, dude, you can make like a fucking chainsaw and a broomstick. And I'm like, what? Shut the fuck up. I was like, no, you can't. They're like, yeah, you can. I'm like, dude,
We put
okay.
a man on the moon. We can do anything.
We can put chainsaws on broomsticks. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to definitely give that game another shot. And so, yeah, I ended up getting it and playing it. And that's what made me think that was cool. But actually, it's sitting right here. There it is, bang, on my Xbox 360 games. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I haven't played any other ones after that though. So
4 don't. If you do decide to play them, don't play 4. Oh my god, they ruined 4 so bad.
okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks.
Four.
Like I love the only thing I love. Like, don't get me wrong, the combo it's fun as hell, man. Cause like how many zombies you can kill, but the story, oh man, it gave me a headache. It made me a mad little man.
Made you a mad little man.
Alright, so Dead Rising's off your list now. What about you, God?
Shit, I gotta give one up because a Resident Evil game has pushed me out. A Resident Evil
4, man.
has
Have
pushed
you played Resident Evil 4?
me out. No, I told you, the only one I've played is Resident Evil Biohazard,
Yeah.
and it was because it was in VR. It was VR compatible, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And
You're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre put into a game, right?
yes, it was great
Yep.
because VR is fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're okay with Resident Evil series because you like 1. So there we go.
That one, because the other ones, like I said,
Play
bored me
4.
out of my mind.
Because that one is
Next,
really good. I mean,
it
it's
is.
revolutionized the series again. So
It did. If
next
the other ones
time-
were anything like that, dude,
Next time it's on sale, get 4 because they usually put it on sale for like $10 every 2 months.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
four is very solid, and it's a lot different than the games you don't like. So
I
Yeah,
may.
it's- 5 and 6 kind of ruined its vibe, but it's better of the later. It's not like, in my opinion, dude, it's better than 7.
Shut up. Shut your
No, like
mouth.
I'm not, like I'm-
Blasphemous mouth, sir.
I'm being serious. Like, in my opinion, it's better than 7.
Here's
Like I
what
said,
blew
it's
my
the
mind.
first horror game.
Here's really quick what blew my mind about Biohazard was, when you're done with the game, there's a whole nother game that comes on after it. It blows my mind. And you
Yeah.
end up playing as a whole nother character for like a whole nother game. And I was like, because I was coming to the end of the game finally, and I was like, oh my god, this is a long game. It's finally over. Okay, great. And then it was like, oh no, you wake up as somebody else. And I'm like, okay, I just gotta play a little bit of a prologue or whatever, after, like, a little bit after. Nope. It's a whole fucking other game. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it never ends. The game never ends. But I was cool with that. I just had to take a break for a while because it just kept going. And I was like, geez, man, that's crazy. It was pretty cool, though. I dig it. But I'll give 4 a shot, I guess. Alright, my game to chop. My game to chop, though. Man, shit. Well, I can't chop Dead Space because it's already on the list, so I only have 2 to choose from. And I'm sorry, guys, but I can't let Doom go. I can't let Doom go because it's epic as fuck. And Lollipop, man, I'm gonna have to let Lollipop go because it was a fun game.
I let go with my Dead Rising.
I know, it was a fun game. It was great, hilarious. If anybody out there has not played Lollipop Chainsaw, do it.
Give it a try. It's awesome.
It is worth. It's an old enough game now that you could probably go down to your local store and rent it for $1 for a month or some shit. Do it.
Yeah.
It is fun. It is stupidly good. It's over the top. It's easy. You could literally be blind and not have fingers and play this game and have a good time, okay? So just rent it, check it out. It's great. And there's my shout out to Lollipop Chainsaw. It deserves a sequel. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. I'm sorry, girl. Your head's chopped off. It's done. So, there we go. Enter the chainsaw sound. It's done. Damn it.
So that leaves Amnesia
Versus Doom.
versus Diablo 2.
Versus Diablo 2.
Amnesia.
I gotta say the weakest out of those 3 is Amnesia.
I think so.
I played all 3, and if I had to choose between those 3, that would be the first one that died. That would be Sophie's choice number 1. Yeah, like, sorry kid, but you're not my favorite one.
See, I've not played Amnesia, so I could not.
Child's Play less. I'll see how it is.
You should have picked Child's Play 2. I would have went with you on that.
Right.
Even if it's not a video game, I will with you on
It
it.
should have been like Child's Play 2, guys. Yep. That would be a great video game.
Best video games of all time. Child's Play 2.
There we go. Man. I'm gonna say
there are 3 completely different games. Like,
see, that's
even styles. Yeah.
right. See, that is the thing. They are pretty big style differences from Diablo 2 to Doom, especially. The Amnesia being a survival horror game along the lines of the hide or die situation. Totally different. Totally different stuff. Yeah. So that's gonna be a hard one, guys. You know, as far as what they have to offer, what do they have to offer individually? You know, Doom. I'm saying Doom 3. You know, had a,
well, I
a
mean,
pretty...
Amnesia, the DLC for it. I was actually going to mention it too because
okay,
you know they take play shot after each other. But a War for Pigs, a Machine for Pigs, or something like that. There is literally
that's actually a sequel. It's not DLC.
That's a sequel. That's a sequel. Well, I thought it was DLC because you know on PlayStation, they got them in the same thing. But a Machine for Pigs, there's actually these giant pig creatures that's running at you, dude. Like, you can't fight back. It's like Outlast. You can't fight back.
That's bad as fuck sounding. I'm sorry. That sounds cooler than shit.
It's like if Pink Floyd came running at you. A Pink Floyd album came running at you. Terrifying.
That's a pretty cool sounding, cool sounding deal right there. So you got my attention.
Well, it is, but it's the second one though, not the first one.
Okay, you got my attention still. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's better than the first one in my opinion.
Okay, Amnesia. I'll have to check it out for sure, but I'm still not gonna give up Doom for it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I ain't played it yet, so I can't for sure say, you know, Amnesia. But I haven't played Outlast or Outlast 2 either, so I mean, I'm not sure. Because without having the ability to fight back, you know what I mean? I'm not sure how those kind of games are really going to work for me. On a personal note, I mean...
I'm sorry, on the games you can't fight back, I don't care. Unless you have no arms, you can still fight back.
Right.
Like, all it does is just curb you to make it scarier. It's like, no, this is not realistic. At the very least, I could pick up a board and at least try to defend myself.
Right.
That's why those games never got me, because I'm like, I like what they're doing aesthetically, but they are literally taking this ability away from you just to make it scarier.
Right.
It's not, you know...
They're taking your flight or fight reflex and basically making it flight only. And,
yeah, which I'm like, there's gonna come a point where you can't fight anymore.
Sorry to say, but I'm not really much of the flight type. I'm like, you surprised me, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Sorry, it's a reflex. It happens.
Yeah,
I immediately go. I've almost punched my kids in the head a couple of times on accident because they'll jump out from a corner, and I immediately like punch. Immediately get up in that punching pose. And I'm like, ah! I'm like, oh god, guys, don't do that. Like, you can't do that. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I will accidentally punch you in the head one day, and I don't want to do that. Child abuse is bad, by the way, folks. I don't ever want to punch my child in the head. That's why
the views of the individual sometimes reflect the whole.
Sometimes reflect the whole. There we go. There's one thing we can agree on. Don't punch children in the head. Don't ever punch children in the head, folks. It's just not right. But as far as it goes, so okay, what all does it have to offer? What can we say?
Talking to you all, you bunch of trailer trash inbreds.
The views do not reflect the whole. Chuck, say the thing.
I live in a country.
Sometimes the views reflect 2/3 of the whole.
Bunch of wild
Okay,
trash
so
ins.
have you played Diablo? Has anybody played Diablo?
I've played Diablo 1. I have never played 2
played the third one.
or 3.
Okay, so you played the third one. What do you think? Because the third one's basically a shittier version of number 2.
It wasn't scary.
Well, not supposed to be. Horror games doesn't have to be scary per se. It's just horror related.
Right. That's like Lollipop Chainsaw wasn't.
It's because of Dead by Daylight right now.
But Diablo was really good. Like the game overall was really cool, especially at its time. Like the first one, this thing was really cool, and
just like the concept, the story, it's really interesting.
And they pushed some boundaries with the Satanism. I'm not saying Satanism necessarily, but with the more demonic aspects and the imagery and the graphic content, with the way it was and in that era, it had still not been acceptable, really. Like, it was not a socially acceptable you know, it really wasn't something that people did back then that often. Like nowadays, the graphicness, the gore, the you know, quote unquote demonic imagery, people are a little bit more like, oh, okay, whatever. But back then, everybody was still a little bit more like, oh shit.
We're looking at you, the Exorcist.
Right. So Diablo definitely pushed some good boundaries, you know. And I mean, yes, we still had games like Doom and stuff that did that
Diablo
too.
2 is basically the best version of 1 and 3.
Okay.
Like they got it right the second time. So
right. That's pretty cool. I will have to check it out too. But...
Well, I liked the third one. It was alright.
Well, imagine the third one being more atmospheric and the story being much better. Basically what the second one is.
I mean, I just played the demo, so...
Right.
Okay, there we go.
Demo.
And of course, Doom 3. Did you guys play Doom 3? Like,
no.
Yes,
crazy.
though I do like Doom 3 quite a bit.
Crazy, you did not play Doom 3.
I ain't played none of the original Dooms. I didn't play nothing until Bethesda's remake.
That's Bethesda's remake.
No, Doom 3.
I'm talking about the 2016 one.
So he's talking about
came out on my birthday.
Yeah.
What? Who's talking about what?
Well, now everybody knows what your birthday is. The remake, the one that just came out a couple years ago.
Right.
That's basically the first game done over, where it's just very hyper-kinetic.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm talking Doom 3. That was more of the survival horror game.
Wait,
no,
which
we're
one are you
talking
talking
about?
about?
Scary games here, man. You gotta look at the Pornhub. It's called "quote unquote" Rising the Succubus. That's
Okay, hang on a second. Doom 3.
Okay, that
I'm not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about. Well, wait. When did Bethesda buy them out? No, that was Bethesda. Hang on a minute.
Doom 3, yeah, Doom 3 was made by Bethesda in 2008.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Which one are you talking about, Clown?
The one that came out in 2016.
Okay, so you're talking about a different one. You're talking about the newest one, yes.
Not the newest
Yeah,
one.
we're talking about the one that came out a while ago.
Yeah, I'm talking about the old
decade
one that
ago.
came out. Yeah, like the old. Yeah. We're talking about the same one then. Yes, we are. I'm not talking about the one that just came out. I'm talking about the old school one that came out, and everybody was like, I don't know, everybody hated it, I guess, but it was badass. I loved it. It was good, solid game. Yeah. You should play it. That's the point. It's a good game. I played it on PC, so I didn't know.
If it's on PS now, I'll check it out.
You should. But that's why I said the Doom franchise in general, because even though the reboots have all popped up, they've all been solid games. You know, the new ones, even the ones then, even the old school game ones, like, there hasn't really been a bad Doom game, really. You know? That's been the great thing about Doom. It's been a pretty solid franchise, through and through. Name one bad Doom game.
So we're all in agreement that we all prefer our games.
Right. Shit. Is there any way to change anyone's mind?
Nope.
But your game sucks, right? So, like, you should change your mind to one of ours so we can agree on it. Democracy, motherfucker. Democracy.
Democracy, where we tell you what to vote.
Right. Now, come on, Doom. Doom. You know it's better. Doom. Doom. Oh, man. Come on.
Doom. Yeah. What do we do? What do we do when we're in a stalemate like this? We gotta come up with something.
We have to. This is our
Like,
first solid.
Yeah. Do we rock paper scissors? Is that what we do?
That Succubus parody.
That Succubus parody. I mean, okay. How about rock paper scissors? Yeah. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I win. Whatever you guys pick. I picked what wins it. See, you can't do that. I mean, it's really hard now, I guess. You guys, I mean, when we have a legitimate standoff, because the Doom franchise is solid, hands down. But, and I do agree wholeheartedly, you know, that the Diablo franchise is solid. You know? From playing just the one game, I know it's solid as fuck. So if you say the second one's solid, even better than the first one,
Yeah.
then I'm not going to disagree because I don't know, and I know that the first one was great. So you, as an avid player, if you say the second one was good, then awesome. You guys are in the good to go. However, this other game I've never played, so I can't, personally say either way on that one. But if it has giant pig monsters that chase you, that's pretty cool as fuck on the second one. I gotta say
There's
that's
a giant pig monster chasing us now.
right. And we just got away from her, but that was easy
Well,
enough.
I did. I died to a bear trap. I'm not gonna. Yep, there I go.
That worked out pretty good for us. Oh, what? And Chuck's dead too. Alright, well, that's how that game worked. Well, gentlemen,
Scary.
this one's rough. This is our first real honest stalemate where we didn't just compromise out. Is there any way to compromise out? Because here's my question. At this point here, we all say that each one's solid. Is there any connecting concept between the three? Not really. Not really. They're all pretty different.
I remember you talking about how Skyrim was a pretty scary game too in VR.
You shut the fuck up, sir. You don't talk about that. You guys, everybody out there that listens to this, I was playing Skyrim in VR. Just started it up, okay? Just to clarify something. In VR, it's different, okay? Things jump out of bushes and scare you, alright? A wolf. I just had left a town. The first thing I did was left a town, and this stupid wolf thing jumped out of a bush and just scared the crap out of me. That's it. I wasn't paying attention. I just happened to glance over, and it jumped out and scared me. That's it. And he keeps making fun of me for it. That's it. It wasn't scary. It just so happened. It startled me because I wasn't paying attention. I looked over. It jumped out. That's it. You shut up now. There. I told the embarrassing story. You happy? I'm not even embarrassed. Not even embarrassed.
Very happy. Feeling like a pilgrim.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. Okay, how about this? BioShock.
But I've never played it.
No,
I can agree on BioShock.
I've never played it.
Okay, I agree with BioShock then. There we go.
Dude,
BioShock
motherfucker
by
said-
democracy.
You sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. What was that but cackling witch?
I don't know. I don't know. Just don't ignore him. Well, only when he votes in my favor. When he votes in my favor, listen to him. Any other time, ignore him.
God damn it, guys. You sons of bitches.
Yep.
Alright.
So
I
BioShock,
guess
there we go.
BioShock has to be it, so we aren't stalemated, even though Doom's probably better. I'm
I
gonna say
can
Doom's better.
upgrade. I can upgrade.
You could upgrade what? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
We
You
can
can
all say
upgrade to
that
Doom?
Batman Arkham Knight is the best horror game ever made.
Is that a horror game?
Okay, you know what? We've already said BioShock. That's it. Our top three is. Our top three is Resident Evil 4, BioShock. And what was the last one?
Wait, what?
I've got a blank.
Oh,
I've got a
Dead
complete
Space.
blank.
We Dead
Yeah,
Space.
Dead Space 2. There we go. We had Dead Space 2, Resident
we
Evil
didn't
4,
say Dead Space
BioShock.
2, did we?
Yeah, we did.
What? Yeah, we said Dead Space. We agreed on Dead Space because I said Dead Space and he said Dead Space 2. And though I've not played Dead Space 2, I said if it is in fact better than the first one, I'll go ahead and go with it. I'll say sure. So,
Yeah. So Dead Space 2, Resident Evil 4, BioShock. That's it. Roll credits. We're done.
you're afraid we're going to find something better and he'll agree with me. You
Yes.
bastard.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go ahead and throw it out here, boys.
All right. I guess we'll
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. Hey, actually, have you guys seen the Fallout mod that those people made that makes it
It's
into
a
a
mod.
horror
It's
game?
not base game. You get over it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just throwing this out there as conversation fodder. That they actually made a Fallout mod that turns it into a horror game. Have you seen that? Look it up.
No.
Look it up. It looks badass.
Already chosen the 3.
I know we've chosen. I'm saying it's just a conversation. It just looks really cool. Go check it out.
Converse after the credits roll.
We can roll the credits right now.
We need
Cue the
to
cue
stop
the music.
wasting these people's time.
Cue the stupid music. Dun 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 dun. What the fuck are we doing?